Hey everyone, Amy Bowser-Tennant here, the Genealogy Reporter, and today is Genealogy Tip Tuesday. We're talking about U.S. city directories and how we can use them for our genealogy. City directories for genealogy may not have been on your radar, but they are a great record set, especially if there's been a loss of vital records in your targeted area, or if you're trying to follow somebody who moves a lot. Did you know that there were city directories or something of the sort in the United States since the 1790s? Yeah, and you might be surprised at how many rural areas had city directories or township directories, farming directories, or even a county directory of some sort. So just because your ancestor did not live in a big city doesn't mean that you might not find them listed in some sort of directory. Now, the amount of genealogical information that you find in one of these U.S. city directories will vary, but some of the things you might find would include name of all adults in the home, sometimes even names of children, relationships like who's the wife and if she was a widow, death dates, an occupation and the name of the company with a company address, and their current residential address, and sometimes even a past address. So where do you go to find U.S. city directories? Well, there are tons of places you can go. Family Search, Ancestry, Don's List, I'll show you that here in a minute, Internet Archive, Google Books, and obviously if you make a trip to your local library or archives, wherever your ancestor lived, that's probably going to be your best bet to find city directories. Let's pop over to the internet and let me show you where to find some of these U.S. city directories. Okay, here we are at the Internet Archive. I really like this. This can be found at archive.org, and I'm going to do a search here. Let's see, I'm going to put in Macomb County, Michigan, and if I click go, I'm going to be given several different things for Macomb County, Michigan. Here we have a past and present book, which is kind of like a biographical sketch and a history. Here we have another one. But if we scroll down here to the very bottom, right there it is. We've got a rural directory of Macomb County, Michigan. That's perfect. And you'll notice here, if we zoom in, we have the date 1916. So if you had some family members in this vicinity in 1916, you can look in this city directory and see more about them. Here is a tip for you. Always read the front material of a city directory. Not only are there business listings, which might include one of your ancestors, but it's going to give you specifics as to what information was collected and how it's organized. City directories also included an abbreviation page, super important to know what the abbreviations mean so that you can interpret the information in the directory correctly. So let's just pop over here and zoom in and take a look at something. Okay, here we have Fred C. Hicks. Wife is Tella. He's a barber. And this is where they live, on Church Street. If we didn't know what something meant, like, let's see. Here's Julius Hentz or Heinz. 5CH Farming 88 3H 3C R6 Mount Clemens CLI 46. Wow, that's a lot of abbreviations. We might need to take a look at that abbreviation page. So we could scroll back over to page 16 and zoom in and take a look at these abbreviations. It tells us a little bit about that. It says A means acres, BDS means boards, so on and so forth. R means a rural route, T means a tenant, H stands for horses, C stands for cattle. So if we go back over to page 62 where we were, we can see that our person here, Hence, is doing farming on 80 acres with 3 horses and 3 cattle. Good to know. Let's take a look at Don's list now. Don's list can be found at donslist.net. It's a little harder to use this website, but it is free. You can scroll down and see the different directories by state and by year. You can also see some of them for international directories, as well as medical directories and so forth over here to the right. But let's take a look at this Bureau County, Illinois one up here. I have some family there, and this one is for 1877. And you'll note that these are saved image by image or page by page, but you can do a search. So you would click here on search and type in possibly a surname. I'm going to type in Coddington and click search. And I've got these 3 options here. So I'm going to click this one. And on page 182 of the voters and taxpayers, I've got Frank Coddington, who lives in Princeton. He's a farmer. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Here is J. Harvey Coddington. He lives in section 33. That would be from a township map. His post office is Princeton. He's a farmer. He's a Republican. He's from Illinois, and he has 100 acres. So that gives you quite a bit of information about J. Harvey Coddington. Now let's go to Ancestry. Ancestry has a record collection titled U.S. City Directories 1822 to 1995. You can search out a name. So let's show you that. Let's do Milford Frazee, and he lived in Lynn County, Iowa. And I'm not even going to worry about a spouse. I'm just going to put his name in there. Wow, we have a lot of options here. We've got Milford Frazee from 1917, 1911, 1912, 1907. Let's just click here on the 1917. And we have Milford Frazee, his wife Anna. R, it means residence at 2033 4th Avenue. If I wanted to, I could pop that into Google Earth and see if their house, the house that they lived in, is still there. Isn't that neat? That's pretty cool. Let's go back and type in Anna's name. Actually, her name was Anner. This would be his widow. I wonder if she shows up as head of household, and she does in several of them. Now, he died in 1920, so I would expect to see her showing up about that time. Let's view this record from 1922. And sure enough, over here we have Anna Frazee, widow of Milford. Her residence, 1540 6th Avenue. That's great. One of the things I like about using Ancestry for city directories is the browse feature. It's right over here to the right. Browse this collection. We can go state by state. So maybe we might choose Florida. And then we can go by a city or a county, and then by year. These are all the years for that location. And we can go right into that specific directory and go page by page looking for our ancestor. Remember what I said about always looking at the front material, in particular the abbreviation, so that you can interpret the information correctly. Lastly, we're going to go over to Family Search. Now there's a couple ways to go about this, but the quickest, easiest way is to first log in to www.familysearch.org. Remember, it's free, and click on Catalog. And we're going to search by subject. In the subject field, type in United States city directories, and this huge list of search results pops up. But the thing is, not all of them are going to be online, because we did just a very basic search for anything that the Family History Center or Family Search has to offer. So over here on the left for availability, click online and update your list. Then go through and you can pick wherever your ancestor was from. Let's take a look at Iowa City directories. Here's one from 1857. These directories for these years are still on microfilm, but this directory for 1857 can be found by browsing the images online. And if we click there, we can go page by page looking at the digital images of the 1857 city directory. Now, another way to go about finding city directories at familysearch.org is to click here on books and to search the digital library by location. So I might try Kansas City, Missouri, and scroll down through here and see if I can see any city directories. Oh, here's one. Kansas City, Missouri from 1921. And if I scroll down, it says I can view all pages. Click there. And if you haven't tried this book feature at familysearch.org, it is awesome. Very nice interface, very user-friendly. You can click here on the right arrow key and go page by page. And remember, you always want to take a look at the front material, especially that abbreviations page. In the interest of time, I'm going to pop in a number here, and then I'm going to zoom in. Just take a look at how they have this one set up. We've got Abby Tate, who's a car cleaner. They live in a house at 1616 East 24th Street, and all these different persons, including the auto livery that William E. Tate owns. Now, before we end, I wanted to show you some unique features you might see in a city directory, like this one. You'll notice George Bowser is listed here. He's in New Carlisle, and he's a farmer, and it says here Mrs. Lilly. Okay, that would be his wife. Now, I know that this couple had children at this time in 1906, but their children are not listed. Perhaps that's because it costs more money to list the children by name. I don't know. But you'll see his brother William is listed right underneath of him, and it says Mrs. Hattie as his wife, Leslie, Elva, Calvin, Ira, and Althea. Those were his children. So he even had his children named in this city directory. In this case, you'll notice we've got Dowd, Alice A. She's the widow of Joss J. She's a nurse. She lives at 109 Canal. And then down below, we have Joss J., the parentheses referring to Alice as his wife, died on July 7th, 1937. So we actually have a death date for this Joss, or Joseph, likely, Dowd, in the city directory. Imagine how helpful that would be if the courthouse had burned down and all the death records were gone. This can really be a lifesaver. Why not give it a try? Go looking for your ancestors in city and county directories and see what you might find. Thanks for joining me here today on Genealogy Tip Tuesday. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.